Welcome back. We have Dave Nunn with us today, owner of Windance Boardshop in Hood River. And Dave, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of your personal stories in the wind sport industry. And one, how did you get started in wind sports? What sucked you into it?
I was heavily into water skiing back on a little lake up in Canada, and we did a lot of competitive water skiing, and then we did water ski shows, and then when wakeboarding came along, we were getting into that, and then my cousins, Peter and Paul Gilbert, who came back from Maui, a Maui trip, and they were nuts about wave sailing, although I'd never even heard of it. And so they just took me to a bigger lake, one of the Great Lakes, and I remember the day, it was just blowing like crazy, and they sent me out, and their waves were like 4 feet high, and I got completely humbled. You know, and but I saw like I could see how much fun it could be, and so then I just progressed right into windsurfing, and kind of did the up the learning curve, learned to water start, learned to jibe, learned to jump, and then tried competing a bit. Really wasn't my gig. Did a little speed sailing, but mostly I liked wave sailing, and that's kind of how I got into it. And then when kiteboarding came along, I mean, you could just see these guys getting huge jumps, and I got onto that sport right in the beginning when the kites were just 2 lines and there was only one brand to buy, and so got into that, but keeping my windsurfing going at the same time.
Now, you travel all over the world, or have traveled all over the world.
Yeah.
Windsurfing and probably now kiteboarding.
Yeah.
What are some of the stories of your travels?
Traveling using these sports to travel is a great opportunity, because you can just go to some island or go on a cruise ship. That's kind of, to me, boring. Mm-hmm. But when you take your gear with you and you have a purpose on the trip, it's like going on a ski trip. So what I kind of got into was reading about these new locations that you might be able to windsurf or you might be able to kiteboard, and I've had some pretty great experiences and some that were kind of disastrous, and one in particular where we had a big tragedy almost with a friend who got bitten by a shark while we were out windsurfing.
Oh, no way. Where was this?
We were exploring this northern part of Venezuela, and there was just he and I on the water, and there was a big wave location, and he fell, and the shark just grabbed him. He fought it off. It was incredible.
No
it was
way.
Incredible that he got him. That he fought it off, and that he got it in. I mean, for me, I'm just happy that it wasn't me that got bitten.
Yeah.
But those kind of things. That was a story for me that was pretty exciting and a blunder.
So what ended up happening? I mean, was he bit? Arm, leg, torso?
It grabbed his foot.
Okay.
When you're water starting windsurfing, you're treading
one
water.
Down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this thing came up and grabbed his foot and yanked him down, but he got a hold of his foot strap of his board, so he pulled back against it, and it tried again, and anyway, it finally let him go, and he got up on the board, and it swam away. He says he actually had to punch it, too.
Really?
But anyway, it went away, but then the real thing was you're out in these giant waves, and you've got a really damaged foot, and he managed to get himself in, so he saved his own life getting himself in. And then I showed up on the beach, and there he was, like, bleeding like crazy. We ended up getting him 250 stitches in the foot, and dealing with hospitals in Venezuela. We need another show just to talk about that.
Yeah, that's probably a whole other subject. Jeez. But, so were you near him when the attack happened?
Nearby. I didn't see him get hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was concentrating on what I was doing. But
so when did you finally realize my buddy's bit by a shark?
I'm coming out and he's coming in, and when you're coming in on a sailboard, you're really doing it to stay on a wave, and you go slow and you go up and down, bottom turn off the lip. And but he was coming in going full speed, and you just don't do that. So I knew something was up right away, and we knew it was a sharky location. So the first thing that jumps in your mind is. But so he sailed by me. His eyes were like this, yelling "Shark, shark!" I wanted not to be there right then.
Oh, yeah.
So I just went way out in the ocean, did my jibe, came in, and there was 2 other guys with us. They yanked him up on the shore. And
so he was able to, he still could sail. He was able to sail, probably purely on adrenaline.
Right.
I don't know. Jeez.
Crazy. So this guy now has become a musician, and he's doing really well. His name's Justin James. He's got albums out, and we might get him. We're trying to get him to come to the Gorge to do a show. We're going to have an event coming up soon, a kiteboarding event with one of my brands, and he knows those guys, so we're going to try and put it all together where he comes and plays.
Nice.
That should be fun.
Well, maybe we'll have to have him on the show.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about your successes some of maybe the awards you've won or the things that you've done that really stick out in your memory as a very, very good good experience.
I don't think I've won any awards. Yeah.
No awards. Okay, well, we'll scratch that.
Yeah. You know, my successes, I mean, I'm in a commercial operation, so our successes are measured by revenue, you know, and we get them from treating our customers well and buying the right product and being able to give them to them at the right price. So, you know, that's my real reward. And but along the way, I like to enjoy life and make sure my staff, I have great staff, you know, and that's what it's all about. And if they're having a great day, then that's rewarding for me, because then the customer walks in the store and they see, hey, this is a cool place to hang out. Everybody seems happy. So those are my rewards, you know.
It speaks to
it has been a stepping stone in the Gorge for a lot of people when they first arrive. I need a job, they go to Windance, and so when I bought the place, everyone's like, I used to work there.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of that. So,
yeah.
And then they give me their funny story about, you know, what happened one day with them.
Alrighty, we're going to take a quick break. Be back in just a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere.